Folks, let's fight. Happy Monday. Hope you guys are great wherever you are and whatever you're doing, whatever you did during the course of the day. Hope you had a fantastic day, folks. Welcome in the ring. Wherever you guys are joining us from, whether you guys are joining us on Twitter, you guys are on the Facebook, that blue app, whether you guys are joining us on YouTube, you're in the Prattville 2 of social media, Twitter, you're in the suburbs of social media, you're on YouTube, or you guys are joining us in the ghetto on Facebook. Guys, you know, we love it in the ghetto. We love the rumble and tumble of ghetto life, people. Good to see each and every one of you. Welcome in the ring, guys. Welcome, welcome, welcome. And let me let you guys know, we had some folks waiting in the ring since about 7:30 behind the scenes, especially our folks who join us on YouTube in the suburbs. We had Vashti, is it Magnot, joining us from Waterloo, Ontario, Canada. A very good evening, Vashti Magnot. Great to have you in the ring as per normal. We had Naomi Morris joining us there on YouTube as well. And we had Damian James. Those guys were just waiting and standing by in the suburbs there, watching us and waiting for us to go live. Guys, welcome in the ring. Welcome to each and every one of you. Let's fight. It's Pashway Monday, guys, and we gotta fight. We gotta fight. We gotta fight. We gotta fight. So much to discuss with you guys this evening. So much information. Y'all gotta record this program, come back and watch it later on. You gotta take some notes. You gotta head. I hope y'all come to class. Head up. You understand? To keep score, to keep tab on what's happening this evening, guys. It's a big evening here in the ring. Lots of information to get through. We want you guys to be appraised of what happened over the weekend, what happened during the course of the day, to bring you up to speed to where we are this evening, guys. Again, thanks to each and every one of you for joining us in the ring. Whether you're at home here in Guyana, you're in the diaspora, you further field, you're in Asia, Africa, Europe, Australia, North America, South America, Antarctica, wherever you guys are joining us from, welcome in the ring. To all those folks joining us from New York, Brooklyn, the Bronx, those of you guys who are joining us from Queens, fantastic evening to all of you. Canada, Ontario, Ottawa, a very good evening to all of you guys. Barbados, Suriname, Trinidad, Jamaica, good night to all of you. St. Lucia, St. Kitts and Nevis, all you folks in the Caribbean, welcome in the ring this evening. Great to see each and every one of you. So good that you all can be here, guys. We are fired up and we are ready to go. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Alexis Arthur is here all the way from Leguan. Is it Leguan? Am I calling it right? Or is it Wickenham? I think it's Wickenham. Somewhere between Leguan and Wickenham. Apologies, Alexis. She's from Wickenham. Wickenham. I remember now. Pinky Young, good to see you there on YouTube. We're going to fight, Pinky. Pinky, we're going to fight. Let's fight, folks. We got to fight. We got to contend. We got to move forward, folks. We got to move forward together. Folks, we always say in the ring is the place for ideas to contend, for personalities to meet and to debate ideas and issues and policies for us to, and for the best of those ideas, policies, and what's not, to rise to the fore and we move our country forward. Good to see each and every one of you. Pinky, Pinky, Pinky. Good to see you as well. We got to fight, Pinky. Good to see you guys. Sharon Costello Edwards and Donna Liverpool, Alana George, Welton Blue, Marlon Cameron, Marla Ali Cork, Rita Savory, Seeley, Marsha Glasgow, Joy King, Andrew Cuthbert, Jermaine Osborne, Denise London Welchman, Delon Scott, Orendon Cook, Lily McGarrell, all of you fantastic folks like Bettino Netchman and Denise Samuel, Denise Samuel, Cecile, is it Cecile? The name has gone by so fast. Cheryl, good to see you there. Kim Walker, Orendon Cook, Prince Williams, Laverne, Don Raymond, Chanika Samuels, LaRose, all of you fantastic people. Welcome in the ring. So nice to see you guys. I got to play that bell one more time. Call to attention. Welcome in the ring, guys. Trust you guys have had a fantastic weekend. Yvette Wolford and all you other folks. Delise Gulliver, you had a great weekend. Gavin Crandon, a great Saturday, a fantastic restful Sunday, and you're back at it for this new week, taking on the challenges, confronting them, overcoming them, winning, folks. We got to be out here. We got to be winning, not only fighting. I mean, we can take a couple of punches. You might lose a couple of battles, but we ain't conceding the war. We got to win. We got to win, folks. And we're out here to win. We're in it to win it, folks. Good to see each and every one of you, wherever you guys are joining us from this evening. So good to have all of you in the ring. Denise Mitchell, Lynn McDonald, Nadira, Jenny Black and Jenny Sandy Saran is in the ring with us this evening. Great to see you there, Sandy. I'm going to be on Sandy's program a little later on in the week. Check out my Facebook profile for that listing there. I'm going to be on with him on Wednesday afternoon around 6, I think it is, on the Sandy Saran show, right on social media as well. And I think I'm going to share back to my page when I'm on. Desiree, Smart Felix. Good to see you, Desiree or Desiree. Shoutout Sicharan, good to see you there as well. Carlton Lacey and Yana Chester Best. All of you fantastic folks. You know, as we come in the live stream, guys, we got to share. I don't know about you, but I am fired up. I have the hot topics ready to go, ready for you guys. I came prepared, guys. I came to work. I've showed up to come to work for you guys. Let's get going. I'm ready to go, guys. I am ready to go. I hope that you guys got lots of rest. You guys are ready for a good 12-round battle tonight. I don't know about you guys, but I am so ready to go. Bigly, in a big way. Guys, I want to see those emojis this evening. I want to see what are those emotions out there. You folks who are joining us from Guyana, New Amsterdam, Georgetown, Buxton, Linden, wherever you guys are joining us from, quarantine, all across this country, Latem, Kokwani, wherever you guys are joining us from, share the live stream. We are happy to have you guys here. Good to see you, Neil, Diamond Star, Lyndon Gill, Nicole Jones, Audrey Ward, Karen Bradford Collins, Tyson Hines. Good to see all you fantastic folks. Candy, Nileen Inderjeet, Marky, good night to you. And I see you said good night as well there, Marky. Good to see you there. Good to see all of you. Fantastic folks. So great to have you guys. It's Pashway Monday, and we got to fight. It's the Jagabats doing the most. The Jagabats doing the most, people. They're doing the most. But we in it to win it. Good to see all of you here. Good to see all of you here, folks. Excuse me for a bit. Good to see all of you here. Excuse me. Good to see all of you in the ring this evening, guys. We are fired up and we are ready to go. Fired up, ready to go, guys. Ready to go, ready to go. Are you guys ready? Are you guys ready? I don't know about you, but I'm ready. There's an old song that says, no, we ain't going home. We ain't leaving. No. Oh, Father, that's how somebody always be at the end of the show. No, we ain't going home. Folks, I'm so happy to have each and every one of you here. So privileged to have each and every one of you here with us. And with that, I want to pause to make sure that we get through the business of the evening. And part of that, folks, is our housekeeping and ensuring that all of you know what we are doing and that you guys are prepared to come on board and to partner with us. Because you know why? Folks, we need you. We want to see those emojis. We want to see those shares, guys. We cannot do it without you guys. You guys make it possible, and this show is powered by you. By now, some of you know this by rote. You know it by heart. You know it by routine. Folks, we need you guys to come on board and partner with us. We've made several platforms available for you to come and partner with us in a tangible way. For $5 a month, 10, 15, $20 a month, you can help us to expand our program, to move it forward, to build it out bigly in a big way, folks. We want to do so much more for you guys. At the Cash App platform, it's $$ in the ring 592. Again, at Cash App, it's $$ in the ring 592. $5 US per month, 10, 15, $20 US per month. Partner with us. If you want to do more, you can do more, folks. At PayPal, it's in the ring 592. In the ring 592 at gmail.com. At PayPal again, it's in the ring 592 at gmail.com. And when you get into PayPal, whatever says personal, click on that. Go through personal. Great. And our own Guyanese cash app is the MMG. GTT, we got to look at renaming this thing, something a little hip. But the MMG, our number there is 627-6963. 627-6963. You have any queries, concerns, need a little guidance on how to move forward, how to contact us, and so forth. You can WhatsApp us at that number as well, 627-6963, and that's our MMG number. We're available also on the platforms, the Western Union platform and also the MoneyGram platform as well. And we'd love for GT&T and, for instance, Western Union and MoneyGram to come on board and even partner with us. We call your name so often. Help us. Do something with us. Great to have all of you guys in the ring. That aside, guys, I cannot underscore how much we need your help, how much we need your partnership. Come on board and help us to do this in an even greater way. That being said, folks, we want to get right into the hot topics, and we hope that you guys are fantastic, that you guys are great, that you guys are winning, and that you guys are doing bigly out there as well, folks. It is Pashwe Monday, of course, and we want to get right into those hot topics, guys. We hope you guys are great. Again, a good evening and welcome to each and every one of you, wherever you guys are joining us from. It is our privilege to have you in the ring. If somebody told you about us, you're here for the first time, welcome. Good to see each and every one of you. We hope it is not your last time. We hope so. Good to see all of you. Javon Sanchez, is it Glennis Mingo Byrne and June Peters, Robin Lorraine, is it Delia Silcott, Clive Jackson, and John? Great to see all you fantastic folks. I want all of you to come on board and partner with us. Find out from us how you guys can do so. Yolanda Moore, Javon, good to see you there. Seymour George, Deanne Johnson, Petal, Ibn Lamy, Diane Graves, Zandy. Good to see all of you fantastic folks. Good to see you. Yasmin Henry, Bettino, Joylyn, Lisa Pitt, all of you fantastic folks. Share the live stream. We want to see those emojis as well. Candy, good to see you there. Dion, Ayana, Bibi, Sandy Ford, Mark Allman, Kim Walker. Good to see all of you fantastic folks. Folks, I don't know about you, but I am ready. I am fired up and ready to go to see what is on this fight card. What is on the fight card tonight, folks? I want to know. Good to see you guys. Let's get right into it. And as we start this evening, we want to report a bit of breaking news at our end. At least that's how we see it this evening. We want to report that at GWI, there have been two noteworthy resignations there. At GWI, two noteworthy resignations, and we can report this evening based on information that we have received. We can qualify it now that the two directors from the board at GWI have resigned. And ladies and gentlemen, they are Frank Sanichara and Rhonda Lamb. And we can report this evening that they have resigned from the board. Information that we are receiving at this end suggests that they have cited instances of corruption and lack of transparency and accountability. That's information we have at this evening. We're seeing several other persons confirming this information that indeed both Frank Sanichara and Rhonda Lamb have resigned from the Guyana Water Incorporated board there. Again, some reasons are linked to the CEO, Sheikh Bash. You know that old cross, Sheikh Bash, who should not even be in government. Should be at the Palms or somewhere enjoying his old age, but still in the system fighting up. And we are receiving, we have some more information we are going to share with you a little later on as concerns some other issues, but not other issues, allied issues operating there at GWI and may have been part and parcel of what led both Rhonda Lamb and, Miss Lamb was or Mrs. Lamb rather, was the presidential candidate for the Citizenship Initiative, that party that was birthed about a year or two ago and contested the last election. Islam was the presidential candidate for that for that party, and we understand that Mr. Frank Sanichara is son-in-law to the publisher of Kaito News, Mr. Glenn Lal, and again, they seem to have been citing issues of corruption, transparency issues there, accountability issues there that are operating under the GWI entity there. And it would not be the only organization where we're seeing instances of corruption, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to be sharing some more with you on corruption under the PPP as we get into our program this evening. Again, welcome to all of you. Share the live stream. We want to see those emojis. And with that, again, we can report that Frank Sanichara and Mrs. Rhonda both have resigned from the GWI board there. That being said, folks, signs of the times. Signs of the times. Y'all think this country easy? This country not easy, folks. I tell y'all, I told y'all, since this administration, since this new installed regime has touched down, it's purgatory, it's confusion powder. Confusion powder. How else can you put it? Look what happened a couple days ago. Now, this, ladies and gentlemen, was in the Vigilance police station. The Vigilance police station. An arson attack in a police station. Now, if your house and property, your car, not safe, being erected in a police compound, where else in this country, under the PPP, could it be safe? Where else in this country, under the PPP, can it be safe? That is the question I have for the authorities. You have never seen anything like this in all of your life, that in a police compound, a house can be destroyed and 2 vehicles, according to the report that we have, owing to arson. And I haven't seen anybody apprehended. One report reads, the Guyana Fire Service has concluded that the blaze which destroyed a house and 2 vehicles in the Vigilance police station compound, East Coast, Demerara, last Tuesday was the work of arson. Fire Chief Calamidine Edo told Starbuck News last evening that their investigation pointed to arson. He said that about 2:24 a.m. last Tuesday, a call was made to the Guyana Fire Service reporting a fire. The fire, he said, took approximately 4 hours to extinguish. Witnesses, Edo said, reported that the fire was first seen under the 2 vehicles which were parked under a house that was gutted. The Guyana Fire Service pleads with citizens to call the toll-free number of 912 as soon as they detect fire in a police station compound. According to the reports we have, nobody has been apprehended. No one has been apprehended. 2 cars and a house can burn down in a police compound. This is PPP Guyana. Folks, PPP. Come back. Imagine if your car is stolen, God forbid, or is set ablaze. How they can find the perpetrator? In a police compound. 2 cars can burn and a house, and police can catch nobody. If that is not a mystery, Kim Walker, Maxine O'Donnell, Shanna Young Wait, Yolanda Moore, if that is not the greatest mystery of our time, I don't know what is. We do not know what is. And so we are following that. And with that, folks, moving on the fight card. Protest continues at the Guyana-Brazil border this evening. Protest, ladies and gentlemen. A curious protest, because in this photograph here, it is the Minister of Finance vehicle is being blocked here. And another minister, I can't remember, I don't have the information for the second person, being blocked. No tear gas was fired. Nobody was shot. Nobody was being detained. 2 ministers in a vehicle, and the vehicle was being blocked. But we're being made to understand that even though the government was very adamant to begin with that the border there, the Guyana-Suriname border would not be open, we are seeing indications based on a letter from the regional chairman, the regional executive officer, Carl Singh, and also the regional chairman there, Region 9, Mr. Brian Alicock, told the Prime Minister that there will be a phased reopening of the Guyana-Brazil border from as soon as Thursday coming. Based on information that we have, ladies and gentlemen. But that being said, we are being made to understand that things are very tight right now in Latam. And that is part of the reason why they have to hurry and open back this border. Because lots of citizens are feeling the squeeze because, of course, they trade regularly with Bomfin there, right on the Brazilian border. Lots of goods and services move back and forth. I'm being made to understand that lots of the items in Latam that were already expensive because of the failure of this administration on the economy are even more expensive now with the closure of the border. How much you guys paying for cooking gas in Georgetown? Whatever you guys paying here, the doubling in Latam currently. Double in Latam currently. So we are watching that situation there. And as soon as we have some additional information to report, we are going to bring you up to date on this protest on the Guyana-Brazil border, ladies and gentlemen. Are you guys sharing the live stream? What is the mood out there? We want to see those emojis and we want to see those shares. Folks, let me show y'all housing under the PPP. Let me show y'all housing, ladies and gentlemen, under the PPP. Y'all think this government easy? When we tell y'all the PPP come back, they come back in all the rhetorics, right? All the rhetorics. Don't let some people build your house. Don't let some people build your house. Don't do it. Don't let it come wrong, y'all funny. Oh, Father. Well, y'all know the PNC, right? We got to fight, folks. We got to fight the trenches. Y'all know the PNC had the hand. Or APNU rather was the hand. And AFC was the key. So it was the hand that hold the key. Well, the PPP got a door that you can't go through. A house with no front door. Folks, y'all watch these people when they come around, y'all funny. Watch them. So in these new houses under the PPP, you got to climb through the window. You don't have a front door. You got a front window. You just walk up your front step and you just climb through the front. You just climb through the side window. Right? You see, when people that go to iFlood build your house, you end up in problems. When people from iFlood University build your house, you end up in problems. You got to fight them. So the people building the house, they are so innovative. They are so innovative, folks. They are so avant-garde. Avant-garde. You all know say elevating my language there. Folks, this thing where more people be selling dreams. So the house got no front door. You got a front window. So you go up your front step and then you climb. What are the emotions out there tonight? Folks, you are sharing this live stream. We want you guys to share. Let people see what madness happening in this country. Let people see what madness happening in this country. So again, you go up your front step. You don't open your front door. You open your side window. Right? Or you might call it your front window since you'd call it your front door. You don't say the side door. You go through your front door. You open your front window and you climb through. You make it easy for the bandits. Then come through the window anyhow. So instead of building a door, you just build a window. Build a window. Unless you got some half people living inside that house. You don't got footers, so you just come by a tow rack. Some half people, folks, you see the PPP. When PPP doing housing, you have problems. You're in problems. You go up in the house there, you know how you get this side. You know how you get this side. PPP selling dreams, folks. PPP selling dreams. They're selling dreams. Look at the dreams they're selling. Look at the dreams they're selling. Now, they went to a place called Beena Hill. These jagabats. They went to a place called Beena Hill, folks. And they said they gave him bus and so on at Beena Hill. Right? So that the children from a place called Fairview in the Northwest can get to school. Oh, they got a big... These folks, and for really though, they got a big... You know, they have to cut a ribbon for everything. They can't go quietly. They got to cut a ribbon. You got to put on your garland on Sukai and so forth. They're given a bus because the children need a bus to get to school. That sounds nice. Folks, that sounds nice. Nothing wrong with that. Good intentions. Good intentions. Tamsin, McFarlane, good intentions. Patricia Sano, good intentions. Right? The people who build the window for the door had good intentions too. Winston Yasser then selling dreams. They're selling nightmares. Folks, you're all sharing this live stream. Let people see the madness happening in this country on the PPP. So they're giving this bus to Fairview so the children could get to Beena Hill School and they're not late because they say the parents are crying out for passage. Passage. What the fraudulent PPP did not tell you, did not tell the citizens when they published this in the state newspapers, is that this was already covered. When they came in, they retired all of those new David G buses. They retired all of them. And we want the public to know, in that area, there was one that was commissioned since 2017. There was one that was commissioned since 2017. So the PPP come in, dismantle the bus operation, create a problem, hardship for the people, and then they swoop down like saviors. That is the modus operandi. They swoop down now like saviors. These are the people we're dealing with. These are the crosses. These are the jagabats. So they're following Granger's lead. They're now getting a 5B initiative of their own. Well, Granger went up till about 8B. He was an 8 Dan black belt. So they're trying to follow Granger's lead now. So they're giving bus. After they dismantled the bus system in Beena Hill, Fairview area, now they're giving bus there. They're jagabats, folks. They are jagabats. And let's turn our attention a little more to the jagabats. A little more centrally to the jagabats as we, again, we've been looking at the PPP playbook, and I want to make another installment about the PPP playbook, because, folks, you have to understand it. You have to understand it, right? You have to understand the PPP playbook, and I want to alert you that very shortly, coming up, folks, not coming soon, coming up, helping us to understand this, we'll have Dr. Vincent Adams. He was the CEO of the Environmental Protection Agency, and he's going to be guiding us through some of these very issues. So coming up, folks, Dr. Vincent Adams. But again, we turn our attention very quickly to the PPP playbook. Because once you understand the playbook, they can't surprise you. Right? And they won't surprise the people at Beena Hill and Fairview. So let's look and see the PPP playbook. Gaisuko and bitter cane, bitter sugar. Gaisuko and bitter sugar. Folks, you might need to make some notes. So we saw quite recently, the Skeldon sugar workers are protesting. The Skeldon sugar workers, ladies and gentlemen, are protesting. And some of what they said here is quite striking. The Skeldon sugar workers are protesting. Hear what they said. The workers are protesting a decision by the sugar company to pay gratuity. They're protesting a decision by the sugar company to pay gratuity to the employees at the managerial, supervisory, and clerical levels, while denying similar payments to workers employed in the field, factory, and allied areas. The workers are also at a loss as to the corporation's decision for their exclusion. They charge that they, like others benefiting from this payout, right, were on fixed-term contracts and therefore see no reason why they should not benefit from the payments awarded to other workers. They went on that no reason or explanation was given by the corporation for its decision. The workers, having learned of the corporation's adamancy on the matter, became deeply upset and felt cheated. They indicated to GAWU, their union, that they felt lesser. They felt lesser than their colleagues at other levels of the estate. Folks, you better share this live stream. And they go on to state, or rather the report says, Gaisuko to soberly review its position, right? They asked Gaisuko to soberly review its position and to treat all workers fairly. So last week, it was Albion workers striking because, why? Because they said that their wages were cut because of COVID-19 and what happened with the flood and the sugar canes being harvested, less being harvested and so on. They received a pay cut. But they said a pay cut couldn't suffice at this time because they had families to feed and so forth. And because of COVID, they couldn't take a pay cut. And the government has met with them and come to an arrangement. Teachers ain't get nothing yet. Public servants ain't get nothing yet. Now Albion, folks, y'all share this live stream. The Albion folks, right, saw what happened there, and they have been sweetened. And we've been talking to you about bitter sugar. And look some of what happened recently. So since the PPP came in March 21st, they give the weekly production incentive, thousands of dollars to thousands of cane cutters. Soon as they come in, March 2021, April 2021, Burby sugar workers strike. Jagdeo stepped in, give them $200 million. $200 million by September of 2021. This is this year. As I said to you, Albion workers strike. And Gaisuko last week came to an understanding with them. Moving very quickly, folks. Look what the PPP did since they came in. First budget, Gaisuko got $5 billion. In a supplementary budget last December, first budget was last September, they got $5 billion. Gaisuko, last December, they got $4 billion more. The last budget in February, they got $2 billion. There was a supplementary budget in June of this year. They got 1.5. In addition to what striking workers at Gaisuko have got. By the same token, I told you all already, public servants ain't get nothing. 2 budgets, right? Public servants have not gotten anything. The largest bracket of public servants. Well, public servants got a different complexion and texture. So they ain't get nothing. Hear what the Minister of the Public Service said. This cross Sonia Parag. She says an increase in salary for public servants is not included in the budget since it is a process of collective bargaining. Collective bargaining. Oh, so Gaisuko, is that a process of collective bargaining? That was the 2020 budget last September. 2021 budget, as I said, in February of this year, nothing for public servants. Jagdeo said, yes, there was something for public servants, right? In an area of the budget, in a line item, 6141, under a subheading, revision of wages and salaries. He said, yes, there was $10 billion there, and money for increasing wages for public servants, wages and salaries was there. That's what Jagdeo said. This is September going in October. No announcement as yet. As you know, Irfan Ali said early August that they would get a raise retroactive sometime before Christmas. Sometime before Christmas. But to date, folks, you all sharing this live stream, Sugar workers have gotten money on top of money on top of money on top of money. Nothing for public servants. And I want to state very clearly here, sugar workers must get what they're entitled to. Sugar workers must get what they are entitled to. But as they have said, as the sugar workers themselves have said, right, that all workers must be treated equally. That is the point we want to underscore here. And moving on very quickly before we have Dr. Adams come, we want to closer look at corruption under the PPP. Corruption under the PPP. Because there's a lot of corrupt practices that are happening currently. For instance, we see some happening at GWI, reason being why the 2 directors have resigned, and we're seeing more so at the Ministry of Agriculture. Corruption. Folks, y'all sharing this live stream. Let people see the corruption that's happening under the PPP. They come back. They come back. You cannot dispute that. They come back. And I want to point very quickly to 2 instances at the Ministry of Agriculture. First, there was this trawler license giveaway. The trawler license giveaway, in which trawler licenses were just given to what one newspaper called a straw man, in breach of the Guyana Association of Trawler Operators and Seafood Processors Association, in a breach of the agreement between them and the government. The man to which these trawler licenses were given is one fella. What's his name? Sukdio, Rampasat Sukdio. Right? It is also stated that the giving away of these trawlers in these willy-nilly fashion jeopardizes international certification, Guyana's international certification on sustainable fishing. And again, nobody in the local fishing industry, upon investigation, or even in Trinidad, seem to know who the hell is Rampasad Subdio. I don't even think a photograph was ever published. And then we're seeing of late this steel sheet, steel framing, retendering by the ministry. Initially, the ministry said it's not them send back this thing for tendering. It is the National Procurement and Tender Administration Board. But that board has since said, not we. That board has recently said, not we. The board said it is the authorizing agency, which is the National Drainage and Irrigation Authority, the NDIA, which retenders. And then when investigations were done, the NDIA said, it's not we. It's not we. We are being made to understand, folks, that this steel sheet issue, this steel frame issue is being retendered because the Ministry of Agriculture wants a particular contractor, and we can name them shortly, wants a particular contractor to get the work. Wants a particular contractor to get the work. This is what one editorial said over the weekend about this issue. The editorial says it's the shadow of corruption. They were being mild with them. It's corruption. And I always try to use an independent newspaper, folks. We always try to use an independent newspaper because we don't want the charge of bias. They can't see Sherry Duncan as nothing but bias because, after all, I support APNU FC, so they're always the charge of bias. Y'all better share this live stream. So look what government-leaning Starbuck News said of them, ladies and gentlemen, very quickly before we have our guests. It says, just over a year into the PPPC administration, there are already troubling signs which President Ali must look at carefully or face the risk that corruption and its scepter could easily undermine the credibility and effectiveness of his administration. The Ministry of Agriculture is now the locus of two inexplicable deeds, where even after its usual bluster and fulminations, it has convinced no one of the propriety of its actions. Indeed, independent investigations should be launched to both. That editorial went on, the shadow of corruption is corruption. They got no shadow here. The editorial says, it remains the case that the licenses were illegally issued and possibly to a straw player for use by some other person. The Ministry of Agriculture has to be held fully accountable for this. President Ali must not believe that incidents such as these are not being chronicled and that his administration has escaped repercussions. And finally, an important note in that editorial, it went on to state there is now the matter of the steel sheets. Zulfikar, you old scamp, you old cross. There is now the matter of the steel sheets retendering, which the same Ministry of Agriculture has found itself in even greater discombobulation and dissembling. For months, the letter pages of the media and social media had been filled with references to shenanigans about the tendering. Those who complained were fully convinced that the retendering was intended to favor a particular supplier. The PPP come back. Corruption has come back. And even with that being said, there have been fingers pointed at the corrupt distribution of flood farmers' relief. And finally, folks, this is where Dr. Adams comes in. Finally, as we look at corruption, finally, folks, the continued breaking down of the guardrails of democracy. We have been examining on this program how all of a sudden the Environmental Protection Agency, all of a sudden, on a whole slew of projects, you don't have to do no environmental impact assessment. But why? Because every goddamn thing is a no-brainer. They can make money. It's good for the environment. You all hear Ali recently on the new Harbor Bridge? He said he haven't seen the studies, he haven't read them, but from what he knows, because he's a specialist on bridge engineering, that the new Harbor Bridge will be better for the environment than the old one. He didn't read no studies. He said that. I didn't read no studies, but what I know, the new Harbor Bridge environmentally will be better than the old one. So we don't need an EIA, right? So at the EPA right now is a free-for-all. And the EPA right now is a free-for-all. Under this straw man CEO is a free-for-all. Let's look at a couple issues very quickly. And finally, before I have my guests come, I told you this before. The new Harbor Bridge, the EPA says we don't need an environmental impact assessment. For the oil exploration in the Kanji block, they said we don't need an environmental impact assessment. For the oil to gas waste treatment facility proposed for Coverden, they said we don't need an environmental impact assessment. For the proposed Marriott branded hotel at Godfrey Acton, they said we don't need an EIA, an environmental impact assessment. Just today, the newspaper says, for 12 well exploration campaign, on the offshore Kaitshore block. What did the EPA says? Well, you know the refrain by now. We don't need an environmental impact assessment. And folks, on that note, and for the main event this evening, I want to welcome the one and only Dr. Vincent Adams, ladies and gentlemen. And this guy, Brightbad, Dr. Adams Brightbad. Very good evening, sir. Welcome to the ring.
How are you doing? I don't know if I can keep up with your standard that you've now set here.
Dr. Adams, we have a very, very literate, unlike what the Minister of Education said about parents, we have a very, very literate audience. And so we want them to have as much information as possible, Dr. Adams. Dr. Adams, you understand these issues more
Before
than
we
a
go,
lot of
let
folks.
me know. Are you getting enough? Am I light, or you want more
That
like
is good. That is fantastic, Doc.
Okay, good, good.
You understand this issue more than than most folks. And just before you come on, Dr. Adams, I want to ask our viewers. We want to see those emojis. Share, share, share the live stream. So we've outlined a number of areas, Dr. Vincent Adams. You're a specialist in petroleum, in oil and gas, across the board. Studied at the best universities. You worked for the US government in several high key roles in that administration there. Let us start on what is the purpose of an environmental impact assessment?
Thanks, Sharon. No, an environmental impact assessment is the most important document in any major project. And the way the process works, a developer comes in, they decide they want a project. It goes to the EPA, for example, to apply for a permit. The EPA looks at it and makes a determination. Well, do we know everything about this project? And there is no risk whatsoever, right? They understand the project. And if it's no risk, they send out the notice to the public and say, hey, we've made a decision that we don't need an EIA. But you can come back and tell us if you feel otherwise. I think you got 30 days to come back and tell us, then we're going to relook at it. Now, in making that determination within the EPA, you look for risk. Essentially, what an EIA does, it describes the project, the purpose, scope, etc. It looks at some conceptual design, because there's a project summary that the developer has to provide for us, and then there's a process that we go through to say, are there some risks that we need to look at? For example, in a specific case of a bridge, are you going to tear down? Are you going to impact the environment? For example, do you have to cut mangroves? Well, as soon as you mention if you got to cut mangroves, immediately when I was there, it's a very sensitive part of the environment. We would almost always default to an EIA. So that's the first red flag. This here is a major, major construction. You've got to drive piles. You've got to, and I don't know what the conceptual design is, but you may have to put what is caisson in the middle of the river so that you can, build up, support for the bridge. And at the ends of the bridge, the abutments, that's a major, major construction. Driving piles is going to be a major part of it. Then you've got sedimentation, because there's going to be some dredging. You're going to have to remove some of those sediments. Where are you going to put it? You're interfering with the stream flow, the fauna and flora of the streams. So there's a myriad of things. I heard a new one that I hadn't even thought of from one of the experts in the newspapers here recently, that the bridges in the flight path, for the Ogle Airport. So all of those you need to take into consideration, because remember, the EIA is not only environmental. You take safety and health impacts into consideration. Now, when you've identified those risks and evaluated them, that was when now you decide, well, okay, here are the options that I've got, but here's how I'm going to have to design it because of these risks that have been identified. And here's how I'm going to mitigate against those risks in the design.
Adams,
so that's what it's sought for.
Fantastic. Dr. Adams, Kemach always says, Kemach Ramchatan, MP, always says that you assume regularity. Let us assume Irfan Ali brain works. Let us assume that. How can a leader sit against a backdrop of the UN 76 General Assembly and say to the world, really and truly, I have not read one of the study. I am not an expert in this area, but from what I know, the New Harbor Bridge is better environmentally than the old. I ain't read nothing, but it's a gut feeling. It's a no-brainer. Are these people for real?
I tell you what, in all of my life, in my 40 years in this field, I've never heard such statements coming from the leadership who's supposed to be responsible for stewardship of the environment. I didn't hear His Excellency. I heard for sure in the even in the statement to the Indian newspapers, the Vice President, the Honorable Vice President, said the same thing, that somehow the pontoon. So maybe, I don't know, I would leave, if I'm to advise the vice president, I would tell him to leave those statements and those judgment calls for engineers. I don't know but he may have some engineering background. I don't know. But he can't come and make those statements that somehow this pontoon that has, that has not even close to the construction needs that this bridge is going to require, is to say that the pontoon is going to be better for the environment. I would like for him to show the evidence. And then the honorable minister also had made a statement earlier that, piling is an everyday type of work. You don't have to worry about it. Well, I would love for the minister himself to go live in that area where they've got to drive these piles. Ironically enough, Sharon, the EPA building, it was supposed to be have a foundation to drive piles. When we started constructing that building, guess what? It had to abandon the design and stop pile driving, because guess what? It was damaging all the homes around the area and causing all kinds of noise and destruction. We had to change the entire foundation. And that's not even close to, that's not even a tiny bit of what they expect in terms of pile driving at the bridge. So those type of statements I do not understand. I would advise that the minister and honorary vice president and the rest of the folks who are making these statements, I would advise that they get advice from their technical folks, or let their technical folks come out and tell the public that.
Dr. Adams, on advice, it seems that the vice president, Mr. Jagdio, the installed vice president, he's an expert on everything, and he made some statements too. Now, he is trying to walk a fine line. He's champion of the dirt rather. And he's an environmental champion. That's what he built himself on. And then we discover oil. He wants to champion oil production, pump everything. That's what he's interested in, pump everything, pump it out, right? And now Exxon has been flaring. You would know what are the normal levels of flaring that is allowed. But I'm advised they have gone way beyond that. And basically the administration's take is, as long as you're paying, you could flare how much you want. You could flare up how much ever you want. Once you pump in, right? Doc, explain this thing to ordinary Guyanese.
Okay, well, first of all, let me say this, that I probably in agreement with the vice president, say let's pump as much as possible. You can do both. But you cannot say, well, okay, I'm going to pump but care less about the environment. You can do both. You can engineer anything. Coming from an engineer, you can engineer anything. It comes with a cost, etc. So let me break this whole, because flaring has been the sore point. And there's been lots of misinformation. A lot of times when I hear certain statements coming out from the government, I don't know whether to cry, whether to laugh, whether to have empathy, or get angry, or because I'm not sure if it's just being ill-advised or just deliberate misinformation. So here are a few things on the flaring itself. And here's what at least I the politicization of these statements is, like, for example, you would always hear the statement coming from the vice president just up to last week, well, not last week, a couple of days in New York, that their new environmental, with the PIARA, by the way, the PIARA permit has improved significantly what the LISA 1 and LISA 2 permit says. That's absolutely false. Okay?
Tell us more, Doc.
I'm not coming from this as for any political motives. It's straight from a science and an engineer that has the country at heart, and I'm doing that, to make sure that everybody understand that it is wrong, and maybe the vice president is just getting wrong information. So let's start with it. It says, statement again from the vice president, there were no flaring policy. No, that is absolute not true. There's flaring policy all the time. And then on top of that, if you say there's not a no flaring, they say there's a no flaring policy, means that there's zero flaring. It's just like if that's new in the PIARA. In the LISA 1 and LISA permit says zero flaring unless under three conditions: maintenance, emergency, and startup. When LISA 1 started operating, when I was there, We shut, as a matter of fact, I was there, we shut them down. I never had any interference from the government. So let me make that clear. I was making my decision. Nobody called in and interfered with me. They asked for, first of all, Exxon made a commitment before I was even there in their talks with the government that there would be no flaring from day one. No flare. That's in the record. No flaring from day one. So when equipment, this new brand equipment didn't work, they came to us, myself and the Department of Energy. They begged us for 30 days. 30 days came and went. They begged for 60 days. 60 came and went. 90 days. And I said, no, time out. So I cut them back to minimum production because production didn't matter to us. You know, we were not looking for money to come into the government. Cut them back and let them operate under the safe conditions of operating. So you can't say that we did. Now, when the new administration came and said, here's what was changed, everything that was changed, Sherrod, made it much worse. So for the Payaro, and especially when you're talking about the Payaro, because that was my first full project where we had to plan, design. We had a team of the EPA, GGMC, the Department of Energy, and the same Canadian, I can't remember the lady's name, with the exports that came in from. We had a group that came up with a decision, and we all unanimously, without exception, said that for the Payaro, there shall be no flaring. As a matter of fact, what I proposed, which is what they all agreed with, we were going to follow the United States standard to say you can only flare for 2 days during startup. That was our agreement. We met with Exxon and tell them that's the case. Do you know what happened? What went into that permit? 60 days. We give them the new administration. So when you say, how could you say you're improving and you give them 60 days? 60 days.
Doc, that being said, you spoke there about when they started flaring initially, about a cutback. Is there a trade-off between the production and the amount of flaring that can be done? Because I think you expounded something.
You're already becoming an engineer. Maybe this engineering thing is too easy.
You're too kind of.
So here is the story. So if you and your audience hadn't been listening, pay attention now. Because one of the biggest lines that is coming out of the administration, you see the headline every day, that the past administration never charged $45 per ton of carbon dioxide equivalent. So here's what this 45 days is. Now, here's something that you learn in your first day of class as a petroleum engineer, Sharon. There's something called a gas to oil ratio. Okay? In this, and every reservoir has its own characteristic. In this particular reservoir that is being produced right now, every barrel of oil that is produced comes up with it 1,000 standard cubic feet of gas. Keep that number in mind. Every barrel of oil that comes up, there's 1,000 cubic feet of gas. What is being said here right now is that their excess flaring right now is 6 million cubic feet. Where it's arithmetic here now. All you got to do, divide 6 million by, guess what, 1,000 to see how many barrels you need to cut back to get rid of this 6 million cubic feet. Guess how much that turns out to be? 6,000 barrels. So all of this hoopla, all you need to do is cut back your production by 6,000 barrels. You're going to get to your number where you're not going to have any flaring. Now, here is the reason. So we make a whole bunch of noise and hype about the $45 per ton of CO2. I made some rough calculations. You know, I didn't have the details of the gas to calculate exactly what it is. I made some rough calculations. The flaring that they're going to be paying for, which is just 6 billion cubic feet per day, it's going to cost Exxon $20,000 per day. Okay? Guess what? Cutting back 6,000 barrels per day is going to cost them at today's price almost $500 million.
Wow.
So they're paying $20,000 to make, guess what, $500 million.
Chicken feed.
It's a small price of doing business. Who wouldn't want to do that? So there's no incentive whatsoever, Sharon. And we were alone. But in the meantime, now we're headlines that Or we making a whole bunch of money. As a matter of fact, we raised the fee. We were bragging that we raised the fee from 30 to 45, and it's embarrassing
Yeah.
that Exxon is probably just laughing at us.
Yeah.
Exxon say here, but here's the dangerous part though. It's not only about the money. We getting 20,000, they're getting $500 million. It's the cost of people's health, safety, and the environment.
Correct.
When that gas goes up there, Sharon, it forms acid rain. It does all kinds of stuff. People who are asthmatic, it goes up there. Acid rain comes down. It messes up all the agriculture. It goes into the ocean, and it damages our fishery. Who knows what's going on? So those are the kinds of things that this whole thing about flaring, it doesn't make any sense. And I want, Sharon, here's the other thing that I want to, when I brought this whole thing up with this agreement, that the team, the whole government team, including the Canadian plus the three agency with the exports and myself, we were adamant. We met with Exxon and say, something, you will not flare, nor will you dump any water in the ocean that comes up there.
Yeah.
We had it, it's documented. We met with Exxon and said this. Do you know what happened after I left, Sharon? The next thing I knew, they threw all of that out to the window. And so all of this now, how could you say that you've improved when you went against your own technical team? And Sharon, they're saying that they're not aware of that agreement. We need to challenge them to say, show us those documents.
Doc, it brings me to my other question.
Yeah.
You were very proactive in this work that you did for the government. You were very knowledgeable, you were very competent, and you were loved. You were moving the EPA forward.
Yes.
We know, Jack, you're like pump. We know the policy is flare and pump, how much ever you want. Money gonna solve everything. This new EPA director, CEO, whatever he is, seems to have a tendency, like Khaled Singh, the missing in action. Now, this is not a little pian area of our economy. This is the central area. This is what gives us 26% growth and all of that per year, ahead of every country in the Caribbean and all of that. I mean, it's down from 86 from 2 years ago, whatever. It's still surpassing whatever growth rate the region is going to make. This is a major driver in our economy. And this guy seems to be missing in action. Doc, make sense of this for us. You talked about you being independent. You were never, you never had any strings to be pulled in the first place. Is this guy's strings being pulled? And by who?
Well, I can tell you what the agency, and I wish him luck. By the way, he was the guy who was in charge of the agency before. He was acting before I got there, I guess, for a couple of years or whatever. But when I arrived there,
you had a lot of cleaning up to do.
But when I arrived there, Sharon, so the first question I asked the staff, what are some of the issues? They said, we've got an aid. We just come into work for the sake of it. People never used to come to work on time. They said we're a toothless tiger, we're dysfunctional, so no work was we had 1.5 vehicles, Sharon, to run the whole country. We had, when I checked, we had no document control center, a registry. We didn't know how much permit we had, where the permits were, couldn't find anything.
Confusion powder.
Clean everything up. As a matter of fact, what we found, when I asked how many permits we have out there, everybody guessing. When we actually cleaned up everything, we had over 2,000 permits. We didn't even know. We went out there. It so happened that we had over 600 developers, operators, who were operating without permits. Their permit had expired, some for 15 years.
Wow.
So we went out there and I decided, I started threatening people to shut down. We collected in just that 1 year about $150 million. We took that money, we bought 8 new brand vehicles that the workers can go there. We hired, like 20 new high-powered engineers. We didn't have a single engineer. We hired scientists, etc.
Yeah.
And so sent people on training. We built a training program. But guess what I'm hearing now? I'm hearing all of that now is on the back burner. The people, the staff, these are the people and the key people, the technical people who did all this work. They're now leaving.
Yeah.
If those who were not forced to leave, their contracts are being negated. They're forced to leave. They're being demoted. So everybody now were finding a way. When the morale had gotten so high that when I'm leaving at 7 and 8 o'clock at night, it wasn't me alone. People used to be walking there. You know what they tell me now? They said, "Doc, all we're doing right now, when it's 4 o'clock, everybody's it's just a man
Yeah.
house to get out to the gate."
Yeah.
So, and their decisions are being overturned. They don't know who's overturned. For example, this EIA for the bridge. The
Yeah.
EPA had made the decision and it was overturned. That was one of the issues we had before I arrived, where they were totally despondent because they said that we'll make a decision. Next thing you know, a politician called. And so they said it's useless. We can't exercise our technical judgment. So people just used to come in until they find it. So that's what,
Yeah.
look, an attorney.
Well, I think they're going back there.
One of the brightest attorneys that I've known. I had a bunch of attorneys who worked for me here, even in the United States. And this kid was one of the brightest. He was the guy who was prosecuting Exxon for not paying their fine. And I decided we're going to take you to court.
Yeah.
You know what? The guy is gone. The guy is gone. They showed him the door. He is gone. And of course, the case that we had against Exxon has, from what I heard, it's been dropped. So that's what's going on.
Nonsense for very long.
So
Doc,
that's what's going on.
Doc, my final question to you. Now, Exxon pumping, Jagdio pumping, Ali pumping. Why the economy not feeling it? Things tight in this country, Doc.
Oh, I know.
Seeing the way.
I know I've got a lot
for 2+ years.
I know I've got a lot of relatives and friends. Well, it takes, I don't know if the money has been freed up. So, but it takes a lot of planning ahead of time. You've got to have a strategic plan. You know what? It's not just getting the money. Where is your plan for this money? I've always said, even though I'm an oil man and an environmental man, I've always said the future of Guyana is in agriculture. Where is that investment in agriculture and education, by the way? Mm-hmm. Education is the number one thing that attract, businesses and investments to your country. Remember now, Exxon and these folks are only going to be in Guyana for 25 to 30 years, the most. What are we going to leave Guyana with? We need to invest in the youths. Half of our population, is 25 years or younger. We need to invest in the youth. Education, free education from kindergarten right through university. Agriculture, infrastructure, national security, so that we can invite in, we can have investors to come in. But we need to lay that foundation right now. And that's the problem. I'm not, maybe you have, but I have not seen a plan. So it's not just getting money. Because what normally happens. A lot of people, you get your money and you go spend it. You don't even know where you spend. As soon as it comes in, it goes. You have to have a plan. And unless we put that plan together, you're not going to start seeing the money, Are we going to give everybody $5,000? Are we going to spend it on education, give everybody free education? Yeah. Invest, that's the kind of thing that we need to have a strategic plan. I used to do that all the time here where I work in U.S. government. Every year we had to put a plan together for that year's budget. But it has to have tied into a 3-year strategic plan or 5 years and our 20-year strategic plan. So at least you've got a plan. So when we went to the White House and Congress, you've got to show how does this fit in.
Yeah.
It's not just saying I want this amount of money and I want that amount. By the way, that's what I had for the EPA. The EPA has to have its own lab. It has to have its own equipment. Here's one thing. The other thing that I'm bothered by is transparency. When I was there, I said, here, we're going to be open with the public. We're going to tell them the truth. If we don't have equipment.
But that's what I said, but this new guy is missing in action.
Do you know what the staff is being told now? That's craziness to be telling people that we don't have equipment.
Well, here's turn the wild west.
The things that is bothering me.
Doc, here has become the wild west, and I'm certain that the folks miss you. Very certain. Dr. Adams, I want to thank you for spending this time with us. We're just a little past program time.
All right.
The depth and breadth of your knowledge is just amazing, and we need some more of your time on this program in the near future. Sir.
Anytime you're ready, Sharon.
Dr. Vincent Adams, thank you for being in the ring this evening.
Thanks, Sharon.
Fantastic.
All
Folks, that's our program this evening. That's Dr. Vincent Adams. He's a petroleum specialist. He's an oil and gas specialist. He's a man, bright man, and he's worked in some high positions in the U.S. government. And I really want to thank Doc for joining us this evening. Thanks, Doc. Great to see you guys. Guys, that's our program for this evening.
Take care,
That's our
Sharon.
program.
Nice chatting.
Fantastic, Doc. Thank you. And we know that this is not an area that we often venture into. Beverly Moore King and Onika Sharp is not an area, but guys, you need to be brought up to date ever so often because this is where the money is. And we got to fight the jagabats in this area. We got to know what's happening because while we're distracted on some small issues, Exxon Mobil and these other guys fetching away billions of dollars. Billions of dollars. That's your churn money, your grandchurn money, your great-grandchurn money. Them and Jagdio them. Jagdio Ali, them other jagabats, them other crosses, fetching it away.
Hey, share it quickly for now that you raise up something, just renegotiations. It's, that which is frustrating. It's written into the contract itself, the agreement. So don't let anybody fool you. It says that it's a renegotiation clause that says you can renegotiate as long as both parties agree. The problem is the government has never asked Exxon to renegotiate.
And they came in like some bad chance. We're going to renegotiate it.
Exactly.
New AFC did a bad deal. We can do a better deal like Trump. I'm the deal maker. 1 year later.
That's right. And the thing is, and I know that Minister Patterson had said on behalf of the opposition that the opposition is willing to go with them and support them in any renegotiation. So all this excuse, well, we got to be, the contract is sacred. It's not true. It's in the it make provision in the contract for renegotiation but you got to approach the other party first. I don't know why we're scared to approach the other party.
Nothing irregular, that. Thank you. Nothing irregular.
Thank you so much.
Nothing irregular. It's corruption. I want to call it as it is, folks. It's corruption. It is corruption. And I want to thank all of you for joining us this evening. I see Adam Passad is with us and David Wood, all you fantastic folks. Thank you for joining us in the ring. As I said, folks, that's our program for this evening. As you know, I'm going to stay a little while and say goodnight to some folks, big up some folks, shout out some folks, punk some folks. For the rest of you guys might be going on to some other place, some other program, some other show. Thank you for joining us in the ring, whether you're joining us at home here in Guyana or around the world. Folks, thank you for joining us in the ring. Continue to social distance, guys. You got to fight COVID. Wear your mask. Sanitize. Yep. Social distance. Wear your mask. Sanitize. Practice all the COVID-19 protocols that are in place for your health and your safety, that of your family, friends, and loved ones. And folks, as you go, I cannot implore on you guys enough. Don't take it for granted. Right? Don't take it for granted. We need you guys to help us to do what we do. Continue to do it in a bigger way, in an improved way. And so we've been asking you guys to come on board and partner with us, for as little as $5 a month, 10, 15, 20 US dollars a month. We've made several payment platforms available for you guys to make it as easy and seamless as possible. At the Cash App platform, it's $, in the ring 592. At Cash App, it's $, in the ring 592. That's our Cash App handle. At PayPal, it's in the ring 592 at gmail.com. In the ring 592 at gmail.com. At the MMG platform, it's 627-6963, 627-6963, 627-6963. Any queries, any guidance you need, you can WhatsApp us at that number as well. We're available on the platforms, the MoneyGram platform and the Western Union platform as well. And again, 627-6963, any guidance, that's our MMG number, and it's our number for any guidance you need, any queries you need, answers to questions and so forth. 627-6963. Guys, that's our time for this evening. And I'm going to stick around and give a shout out to some of the folks. Thank you for joining us wherever around the world you've joined us from this evening. It has been our pleasure hosting you guys. It has been a pleasure, folks. We love to do what we do here. Apologies there. We're getting besides myself. Apologies there, guys. My apologies. We do the whole thing at the back here. We got to fight. We got to fight them, guys. Good to see Amanda Daniels is still with us, and Leanne Roberts and Rayon Nurse. Eartha, and all you other fantastic folks. Thanks so much for joining us. Thank you so much for joining us, David Wood and Laverne Harricharan, Tara Poole and Carmen Bailey, Loretta Roberts, and Denise London Welshman, one of our favorites. I see Nang, is it Iandra Tun? Nang Iandra Tun. I see Candy is still with us. Candy, Nilene, Inderjeet is still with us this evening. I see Tasha Silet. Good to see you. Tasha, Edwin Warren is with us. Good to see you there, Edwin. And I see Father Mike. Father Mike is here. Kim Walker, Angela McDonald. Angela, how you doing? Good to see you out there, Angela. Good to see you, Kelman Passad. Come on down, Kelman. And Paulette Devonish. Good to see you, Paulette. All you other fantastic folks like Loretta McDonald. Good to see you. Sorry, Loretta Roberts. Good to see all of you folks. Thanks for making In the Ring your home for this 1 hour every evening of the week, folks. It's our privilege having you guys. Lynette Lawrence, and again, Angela McDonald, Alita Warwick, and Spory Lee, Osmond Hodge, Volmay Wilson. Good to see all you fantastic folks. Janet Coates, good to see you as well, Janet. Good to see you, Volmay Wilson. Good to see all you lovely people. Jenny, Samuel, and Brent Mentor. Good to see you, Brent. Good to see all you fantastic folks. Folks, have a fantastic rest of the evening. And stay safe, guys. Stay safe.